think of any stories where a tiny animal has managed to outsmart a much larger animal? Or a story where a tiny animal has helped a much larger animal? Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. Did you manage to think of such a tale? Maybe you thought about Lion and Mouse, that fable by Aesop, about a tiny mouse who saves a big lion from the hunter's net by, yes, nibbling away at the rope on the trap that the hunter set for him. Or you might have thought about The Lion and the Gnat, about a tiny insect who outwits a lion. You can listen to both of these stories on our podcast and compare them to this story today, because this episode is a story from China about a little green frog who manages to outsmart a very big tiger. Now, before we begin, if you would like some colouring sheets to accompany our stories, then go to www.journeywithstore.com, click on the Patreon page, and you can enjoy some of these perks like the colouring sheets, even at the free level. Now, let's take a journey with Su Tan the tiger and the little green frog, a tale from China. Once upon a time, when the world was very, very young, men and animals could talk to each other in their forest homes. Su Tan was the name of an old tiger who used to wander about in the forest in search of food. One day, as he was snuffling along the banks of a stream, a little frog began to tease him. Perched atop a mound of grass and mud, Master Frog blinked his big black eyes as he shouted boldly to the tiger, "And where may you be going this bright, beautiful morning?" To himself, though, Croaky Frog said, "He has certainly come here to eat me, and only my wits can save me." Su Tan, the tiger, answered, "I am going into the forest to get something to eat. For 3 or 4 days I haven't eaten a morsel, and I am tired and very hungry. I think I will grab you and eat you, although you are unbearably small, nothing more than an appetizer. But first, tell me who you are." The little green frog blew up his belly as round as he could, and he answered in his deepest, croakiest voice, "I am the king of the frogs. I can leap very far indeed, and can do all kinds of wonderful things. Come now, here is a small river. Let's have a competition to see which of us can jump farther across it." Su Tan answered, "Good, but I must take the first turn." While the tiger was making ready for his leap, the frog crept around his mound of grass and mud, seized the tip of the tiger's tail, and held fast. Su Tan took a flying leap to the other bank of the river, unaware that he was carrying the clever little green frog with him. Proud of his strength and agility, Su Tan turned to look back toward the water when, to his surprise, he heard a voice directly behind him. "What are you looking for, Mr. Tiger?" There, sitting off in the meadow, far beyond the spot to which the tiger had jumped, sat the little green frog. Su Tan had no idea of the clever trick by which he had gotten there. "Well, Mr. Tiger," said the frog, laughing, "since I have beaten you in this competition, let's have another. Let's practice spitting." Not to be outwitted by so silly a little creature, the tiger accepted the challenge. But Sultan had had nothing to eat. His stomach was quite empty, and his tongue was quite dry, and try as hard as he would, only a little water trickled from his mouth when he tried to spit. When the little green frog's turn came, he spat out a great mass of tiger hair, which he had bitten from the end of the tiger's tail as they sailed across the river.
"How does it happen that you have tiger's hair in your stomach?"
asked Sultan, shaking with fear.
"Ah,"
said the frog eagerly,
"yesterday I killed a tiger and ate him, and these are just a few hairs I couldn't digest."
Now Sultan thought to himself,
"He must be terribly strong indeed to kill a tiger. And today he has jumped further than I across this stream. I'd better escape from him while I can."
So he turned about and fled from the forest. The farther he went, the faster he ran, until finally he reached the very top of the mountain. As he sat down to catch his breath, he saw his old friend, Mr. Fox, coming down the path.
"What makes you run so fast, Sultan?"
asked the fox.
"Oh,"
panted the tiger,
"I've seen the king of the frogs. He had just eaten many tigers. He had leaped over the river and was planning to eat me."
The fox laughed at him and said,
"Oh, you're a great tiger, running away from a little frog, while I, a small fox, could get him under my foot and stamp him out." "If you think you can kill him, I will go back with you," said the tiger. "But when you see him, I know that you too will be afraid and will run away. We had better tie our tails together so that we can help each other."
So the tiger and the fox tied their tails together in strong knots and started off down the mountain to find the little green frog. The clever little frog sat on his mound of grass and mud, chuckling over the tricks he had played on the great strong tiger. But as he sat there ruminating, he watched the path leading out of the deep, dark forest, for he was sure he had not seen the last of Sultan.
"Can those two shining green lights possibly be tiger eyes?"
he asked himself. Before he could answer himself, the sharp nose of Mr. Fox appeared. And then the frog saw that, tied to his tail, Mr. Fox dragged along his old enemy, Mr. Tiger. Then the little green frog shouted in his loudest voice, "You, sir, are a great fox. Today you haven't brought any worthy present to your king. Turn about and look at your tail. Is that a little dog you have brought along for my evening meal?" Then Sultan the tiger was sure that the fox was playing a trick on him and was leading him to the king of the frogs to be killed and devoured. So he turned about and ran with all his might, dragging the fox behind him. He ran so fast that if they are not dead now, they are still running through the forest. But the clever little green frog sat on his mound of grass and mud, blinked his eyes, blew up his belly, and grunted and chuckled at the way he had fooled the great striped tiger. Well, what do you think this story's souvenir? The nugget of truth about what it means to live in this world. Yes, I think it's a lot like last week's episode. Something to do with the fact that being big and strong on the outside is not always as important as how smart and clever you are in the inside, no matter how small you are. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.